Alright, I'm just going to get into this here. I want to go on a bit of a rant about Resident Evil. It's not about the actual thing, it's not about Resident Evil, it's mainly about the fans. Not all the fans, because I see a lot saying this is a good thing, and Resident Evil 7 is a brilliant thing. I can't wait for it. I'm hyped for it. I really can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm buying the collector's edition. It's £100. I'm buying that. That's getting bought. I'll have that day one. I'll probably digitally download it as well so I can play at midnight. But I'm gonna get on these little topics here that I've been saying a lot recently, and these are coming from brain dead idiots that I just can't help but want to say kill yourself to, because they really do need to kill themselves. This retarded. I'm gonna get into the first topic. Is I've seen a lot of fans going, I wanted something like Resident Evil 4. First off, Resident Evil 4 is not Resident Evil. It's far from Resident Evil. If you don't like Resident Evil 7, you don't like any of the other Resident Evils before 4, then you don't like Resident Evil. Stop playing. Just go away. Never play Resident Evil ever again. Just play 4, 5 and 6. They're your games. You're done. Stay out of the series, because you're ruining it. You're killing the series. Simple as that. I'm going to say this as well. It's not Resident Evil. People are saying that a lot. How is this not Resident Evil? This Resident Evil 7. Now, I could eat my words here. It could end up being utter dog shit. It could be end up halfway through the game that they haven't shown you the second half of the game yet, and it ends up going into an action game. Could happen, but that if it's at the end of the game it goes a bit action, I don't mind that. Most Resident Evils do that. But the one that the only Resident Evil game that they should be using is kind of like source material to go, oh, this is what we need to be like. It's Resident Evil 1. It's the first Resident Evil. That is what Resident Evil is supposed to be like. Resident Evil 2 was survival horror, and then it got to the second half of the game, and I say it picked up in action. It was more action than survival horror. You still had to manage supplies. It still had its the hints of survival horror. But in all honesty, from what I've heard and what I've seen of Resident Evil 7, I would say this is more Resident Evil than Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 went down the action. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad game. Nowhere near a bad game. It's one of the greats as well. A classic Resident Evil, still amazing. But it still had its fair share of action in it. Resident Evil 7 looks a lot more like a Resident Evil than Resident Evil 3 did. Like, is. Resident Evil 3, though, is still a good game. I know I might get a lot of hate for that, saying that, but that's just where my opinion stands. Because all I have to say is Resident Evil 7 still looks like it has backtracking, it has the item management, it has exploration where you've got to explore, you've got to find items, you've got to preserve ammo. Sometimes even your health is ammunition. You've got to think in your head, should I take a hit here and keep me ammo for later on? I've got plenty of health, I can use herbs, I'm just going to take the hit. Sometimes your health is ammunition. That is what Resident Evils are like, and that's what Resident Evil 7 is a lot like as well. So I don't say what's the problem. Resident Evil 7 looks a lot like a Resident Evil. So I don't get why people are saying it doesn't look like a Resident Evil game. What, is it because it's first person? Because all I have to say is, if you do your research, Shinji Mikami wanted the first Resident Evil to be a first person game. It just had technology restriction, so he decided to go with I forgot the name for it. The camera angles. I forgot the name. So it's if anything, it's what Resident Evil was supposed to be like in first person. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love to have the old camera angles back. I would love to have them back, but we're not getting them, and I don't really give much of a shit. I'm getting a Resident Evil game that looks a lot like a normal Resident Evil game. It's got its survival horror elements. It's got exploration. It's got all the things that I want. So it looks great, and I've got a feeling that they're gonna do DLC where they're gonna give us a new camera angle. I'm not even gonna lie. From what I've heard is like apparently at the end Chris comes into it. Like, not for long, probably will just be a cameo, because you've got to think it's set in the same world, so it would be stupid if this doesn't come out and be don't get involved at the end at some point, because it's in that universe of Resident Evil. The BSA are about, why the fuck are they not on this shit? There you go. So I think we're gonna get a DLC where you might be Chris. Just might happen. Not, that's just a guess. And now I'm gonna get on the final topic that I see a lot of people saying. It looks more like a Silent Hill game than Resident Evil. Now, first off, people need to realise and play Silent Hill. Just because it's got a fucking creepy looking cabin and dead bodies hanging about in more jump scares, I don't know, doesn't make it a Silent Hill game. Silent Hill is not like that. Resident Evil is more realistic, like more of a realistic survival horror. Like, in a way, it's believable. It could happen. Not Silent Hill though. Silent Hill's more psychological, and it's gonna mess with your head and give you, make you think more, make you shit yourself more. Really, I think Silent Hill's scarier than Resident Evil. It always has been. But just because of some creepy shit doesn't make it as more of a Silent Hill game. And not only that is, I've seen a lot of people go, oh, in the latest trailer it says, oh, there's Ethan got a message from beyond the grave from his wife, and people saying, oh, Silent Hill 2 rip-off. Silent Hill 2, he never got a message. It was all in his head. He was a fucking spastic. So why the hell is that a copy? Ethan is actually getting a message. Ethan is going to investigate. Ethan's looking for his actual real wife that he didn't abuse. I mean, they could steal the story. I don't know. I haven't played Resident Evil 7, so I could be talking a load of shit here. But I doubt that they're going to do that, because they would get a lot of shit for doing that. So I don't think they're going to do it. And what's the problem? Like, that story was probably done a long time before Silent Hill 2 done it. People need to just stop chatting shit. It's going to be one of the... I think this has the potential to be the best Resident Evil game. Might not be. I think it's got a lot of competition, because my personal favourite's Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is the best one. I don't think it can beat that. It can be the best one, and I don't think it can beat Resi 2 because of my nostalgia reasons. So that's all I have to say. It's got a remake to compete with, but I think this can be the best one. Thanks for watching, and if you don't like Resident Evil 7, kill yourself.
Boy, you are nothing. Just a man without a family.